Do you think we'll see a debate of some kind between these two in the future?
I mean, anything's possible, I suppose. Both those two men, Kelsey, have a sort of political incentive to keep attacking each other. From Governor DeSantis's point of view, it is a good thing for him to be seen to be hitting hard against a Liberal Democratic governor of California, the state, of course, being a big Democratic stronghold. Likewise, from Governor Newsom's point of view, he can really become a champion of Liberal and progressive voters by going as hard as possible against Governor DeSantis. Governor DeSantis, very unpopular among Liberals for obvious reasons, his anti-woke agenda and various other things. So there is an incentive for both of them to keep this battle or feud very much on the boil. Whether that will ultimately culminate in a debate or not, I don't know, but it would certainly be great political theatre if it actually happened.
What would a Biden-Newsom debate look like? Who has the upper hand, and which parts of the Democratic Party would it represent?
Oh, well, in the case of a Biden-Newsom debate, that's a different question. I mean, that would depend, obviously, on Governor Newsom deciding to challenge President Biden for the Democratic nomination. He has said that he won't do that, and I think it would be very difficult to do that without appearing disloyal, and it's very difficult to beat an incumbent president of your own party. A Newsom-Biden debate, I mean, that would be interesting. Governor Newsom is, I think, an effective communicator. President Biden, though, has sometimes been underrated. But, you know, a Biden-Newsom debate, I can't imagine us seeing that in any circumstances that are foreseeable.
You know, President Biden yesterday holding his first official re-election rally in Philadelphia. Now he's headed to San Francisco for more funding this week. Pennsylvania is a swing state, so we know the significance of him being there. But what does President Biden, what does he hope to get out of this week's events?
Money, in the sense of if he's going to California. I mean, California has traditionally been, as I say, a Democratic stronghold and, of course, a wealthy Democratic stronghold. And Nancy Pelosi, the former Speaker of the House, based in San Francisco, was one of the most prodigious fundraisers in the Democratic Party's history. So that is a well from which Democratic presidents and, in fact, Democratic candidates more generally can draw. So anytime a president is going there, it is often for fundraising purposes, either for himself or for the Democratic Party more broadly.
Niall Stanage, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.